If there is one thing you should know about me, I don't operate without a shower. And in less than 4 days, our shower is going. So welcome back to another beautiful day in the woods, as the seasons are definitely miserable right now. It's getting incredibly cold. We have less than 4 days to get our bathroom in our renovation as ready as humanly possible to start using. In the last vlog, we got the bath fitted as well as the shower, and in between videos I have gone round and I have added sealant all around the edges. Right on time, we ran out of gas on the caravan, so I went out to Morrison's where I usually go to refill it, and they stopped me and said I can't do that. So I had a little bit of a panic where I was like, oh, where are we gonna get gas from? So I sealed the bath just in case we needed to use it. Fortunately we haven't, which is why it's still full of water. But the sealant is all done. I need to get in there and seal the boxes off, but the bath itself is sealed. The reason there is still water in there is because my overflow pipe is currently leaking, which to be honest isn't overly shocking. Now I didn't film me fitting the overflow pipe, but typically you can cut them down to size and then fit them like I have done there. But the one I got with my bath kit didn't really seem like it was meant to. I had to like melt the pipe to get it to fit over the fitting. So yeah, that might be a reason why it's leaking. So today I might pick up a new one, replace the overflow so I can empty the bath essentially. But the main agenda for today is, whilst the bath is waterproof and we could technically use it right now, I am really concerned about the plaster. As this room is at moderate temperature, probably 16 degrees right now, if I was to have a hot bath or a shower, the steam in this room and moisture would get sucked into the plaster and I'll be at risk of damaging all of this fresh plaster. Not only that, but I have a bare light fitting, which is not rated to be in a bathroom at all. It was just temporarily put in so I could see in here. That needs changing as well. So before we can use this room, I need to get this room painted, or well, I need to seal the plaster, paint the plaster to the color I want the room to be, and get the lighting all fitted. Which means that light needs to come out. I need to drill in some new spots that I'm gonna put in, as well as create a rather large hole right there, as the old loft hatch used to be there, and there is now no way to get up into the loft. However, before we can do any of those things, we need to do a little bit of shopping because I have none of the products I need to start doing those things. We've got a loft hatch ordered that I need to go collect. I need to go pick up some plaster sealer and paint and rollers and brushes and so on and so forth to get this room all ready for us to use, essentially. I might also need a little bit of plaster to fill that hole, as that's not actually going to be our light. The spotlights are probably going to go in the middle of this flat roof here. So that's something else to think about. Anyways, let's get out of this miserable weather and off to the first DIY shop. It is so cold, look. It's freezing. Destination number 1, Screwfix. Absolutely fantastic camera work there. But that is the loft hatch collected. Now I have gone for a fairly basic loft hatch. It's quite cheap as well. I think it was only like 35 quid or something like that. But it matches it's the same dimensions as the one I probably am going to get long term, which is like a fire rated insulated loft hatch. That is literally just an access panel. So for the time being, I can put an access panel in and keep it all nice and safe and like secured away until I get the fire safety insulated one, which is more, it's like £160 for that one, but the dimensions are exactly the same. So once I fit that one, I can take it out. I could probably use that in the garage, to be fair, because the garage access panel is currently just literally a piece of plywood. So it won't go to waste, but it'll do for now. Stop number 2 is Wickers. We are looking for a few things. One of them is paint and primer for the plaster, but also for some light fittings. And possibly a shower fan kit. To be honest though, even with the kit, I still can't fit it because I need to be able to drill or core through the gable end of my house, and I can't do that without hiring at all, which is not on the agenda at the moment. That's why paint is so important. I just need to protect the plaster and then we can work with keeping the window open. Paint acquired. I've got a primer undercoat for plaster in brilliant white, and then I've got Egyptian cotton, which is what the main room is going to be, and then the ceiling is going to be brilliant white. Hopefully that should complement my tiles and the wood I'm going for in the room. It's probably going to have a bit of a spa feel. Pick my spotlights. Hopefully these look nice, as well as a lot of other random stuff. And I think with that, I have got everything that I need. Well, not quite. I can't find the overflow pipe that I need. So we've come to the final spot, B&Q, and oh my lordy, £198 we spent at Wickes. It certainly adds up when you're not planning or budgeting anything. Speaking of which, they have what I need. I don't really want to spend 60 quid on a waste pipe though. So I'm going to try and fix what I've got before I go and spend money. We'll come and revisit this later. Not a complete wasted trip. Got some timber, which I will use for creating the loft hatch hole in the ceiling, essentially. But man, the weather is absolutely miserable today. I am so glad that I am working indoors and not doing the gardening. Because whilst I don't mind getting wet and working outdoors in this kind of weather, I'd rather not get ill again. All right, as much as I would love to paint this room, the ceiling needs to come first. Which means doing something I have never actually done before in installing this loft hatch. Now, I'm fairly confident about what I need to do here. It's going to be messy work, as it's quite the amount of layers I have to get through. There is lath and plaster, followed by plaster again, followed by plasterboard, followed by skim. As far as I'm aware, all I need to do is cut out a hole where my hatch is going to go, and then obviously reinforce it where I'm taking stud work out and so on, or like beams, joists, and whatever terminology. As I imagine it's going to be dusty work, I've got a sheet out as well as my respirator. How I'm going to film this, I have absolutely no idea, but in my head, the loft hatch should go in the center of the door. So I need to project the center of the doorway onto the ceiling, and the loft hatch needs to be 5'6'2". So the loft hatch is about this wide. So I need to find the middle of this, half of 5'6'2", project that up there, and then that is where I'm going to cut out my loft hatch. At least that's the plan. Ta-da, just like that. We now have a line that goes through the middle. So I know where the middle is now. Now I just need to roughly draw out where the hatch is going to go. And oh man, did that kill my neck. All that's left to do is to get dusty and cut it out. I've also hung a dust sheet in the doorway for the bathroom just to try and mitigate some of the dust. All right. Let's get to it. Well, it must be said that is my least favorite thing to do, but there is now a hole where the loft hatch is going to go. There's also a hole in the tiles, which is something I need to address, but it's not the tidiest at the moment. I need to tidy it up. I ended up getting out the reciprocating saw to just cut through it, and the whole thing just basically fell down. But yeah, I need to tidy it up, and obviously this needs to come out. Now, very fortunately, when I was cutting it, the cables ran straight across it. So fortunately I didn't hit any cables when I did it, albeit very close to them. But yeah, next thing up is to brace the joists, or whatever they're called. I can't think of the terminology for it now. But I need to brace these so I can build a new support for the new loft hatch. I am, however, interested to know if that will literally just slot into the hole I've cut. So I'm going to try, essentially, the terminology I like to use for everything is dry fit it. Okay, I apologise that the camera angle isn't great, but it's really hard to get an angle with in the stairwell. But let's see if this just fits in there, which it pretty much does, you know. That's fairly spot on. It's actually quite a snug fit, you know, which is very good. I just need to remove some of these screws and stuff which are in the way, and obviously build up my framework, but that fits there. And like perfectly. A little concerning that I might have to chisel out a bit more of the plaster above this plasterboard and bring my timber down to meet it, because at the moment when I put that up there, that it's currently going to screw into the lath, or just beyond the lath into the plaster, so there's no properly good fixing point, so I am going to have to remove a fair chunk of this, but I could probably do that from above, to be fair, or just tidy up in general. So right, let's tidy up some of this mess and begin building the loft hatch, I guess. So now you see it, and now you don't. You know what? That dust sheet did actually a really good job, and even though it cut this one when a bit of plaster dropped, it also stopped the dust going in there, so that was well worth it. Right, the first thing I need to do is I need to remove this joist in the middle, because obviously it's in the way. But before I can remove this, I need to brace it. So I'm basically going to cut a batten that runs from this joist all the way across the other one, and I'll screw it in beyond here, and I'll do the same above my head, and then I can cut this out, and it's not really doing anything at that point because it's being held up by those two pieces of wood. It is notoriously difficult to film up here, especially when you can't properly get in. So I've got my two pieces of timber here, and I'm basically just going to screw them in. And basically, this piece of timber is going to hold all of my joists together. So when I cut out this middle one here, it will be supported from this piece of wood. I'm going to do the same behind me. Right, I've got support on the left, support on the right. Time to cut this out. I've also just climbed up here and forgot my tripod, so it's gonna, I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. It's just not going to be there. Okay, after using an abundance of tools, including a handsaw, I have now tidied up the loft hatch hole. So what I'm going to do is cut some timber that's going to go right there on both sides, and that should give me something to fix my loft hatch into. Just like that. Now we just screw this into the hole I've just made. So far, so good. Sorry, I have not filmed much of this, but it's kind of hard in the circumstances. But now, in theory, this should just drop down into here. So my camera work is awful. That clips into there. This clips into here. And that's it. Loft hatch done. Because I've left the light up there, it's still shining a light, but we have a loft hatch. As I mentioned, it's only a cheap thing that will do for now. Later on, I might upgrade it for even one with ladders built into it, but for the time being, we have a way of getting into the loft that's kind of like neat and tidy. It's highly likely when it comes to plastering the whole of the rest of upstairs that hatch is going to have to come out anyway, so he can board it up properly and get it all like nicely plastered, and then I'll go ahead and fit it. It does actually say on the box, don't fit this until like painting is done and so on and so forth, but I don't really want a big hole in the ceiling. So as I said, for 30 quid or 40 quid, whatever it was, I think that'll do the job. Most importantly, it's all structurally done, so it's ready to go. It just looks a bit odd right now with the rest of the ceiling not finished at all. And the landing has yet again become a mess. I can't lie, despite feeling a lot better in myself, like you could probably tell from like the energy of the video or how I am on camera today, my energy like depletes really fast. So I say that, it's like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, early evening now, and doing all this and being stretched and ladders and hand sawing and blah, 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 blah. Woe is me. I feel so drained right now. But the last thing I need to do today, before, take this dust thing off now, the last thing I need to do today before I can actually paint this room is fit the lighting, which is the whole reason why I just put a loft hatch in. So I need to remove this light and then drill or hole saw some 3 new spotlights which are going to go across this room. So that is the plan now. First I'm going to tidy this up, and then we're going to figure out exactly where these spotlights need to go. As I plan on having a backlit mirror as well as lighting on the shelves, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of this flat roof here and then divide the length from there to there by 4, and it should give me 1, 2, 3 evenly spaced out. I have been told that lighting is imperative to the feel of a room, and it can drastically change how a room looks depending on how it's done. So, you know, with that hanging over my head, I'm thinking that if the lighting in the ceiling, which is dimmable, I've got dimmable LEDs, if it's evenly spaced, it should evenly distribute the light into this room. And then for points where, you know, you want to look at yourself in the mirror, it's like a vanity station. So it's like you want it to be backlit so you're well lit. And obviously if the lighting is here and I'm stood up to the sink, the lighting will actually hit the back of my head, which is not good. But it's kind of like one of those, because of the state, like the way this room lays out and the way the ceiling lays out, I can only do so much. Even if I put the lights bang in the middle of the room, it still would be behind me when I'm stood at the sink. So that's the thought process. Let's measure it out and figure out exactly where the spots need to go. To get them evenly spaced out, I need to go 700mm, 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 which will give me perfectly spaced lighting. The downside to that is, it depends on where a joist is above it. Because if I drill a hole at 700mm and there is a joist right there, then I can't fit a downlighting there. So I think the best way to do this is to go into the loft and measure it out from above. Or at least try to. Alternatively, I can measure right in the middle and YOLO it, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Somewhat unbelievably, I eyeballed the middle of the room, measured from here to here, the flat row space, and marked out where the center was. And I am 0.5 mil away from the actual middle of the room. Bonkers. All right, the plan is I'm gonna drill a pilot hole in the middle of the room, and I'm gonna leave the drill bit poking up above. So when I go into the attic, I know where the center is, then I can measure off 700mm one way and 700mm the other way. And if that's not quite right, I can move it over by a couple of mil, and then the middle is always in the middle and the other ones aren't. I'm really hoping there isn't a joist here. But the way that it looks like 2 boards meet nearby, so fingers crossed. There's only one way to find out. Oh, that's promising. Didn't hit anything, so what I'll do now is I'll take my drill bit and I'll leave that in the ceiling like so, and then we'll pop into the attic and try and spot my drill bit. Oh, it's there, look. Great thing about having a big light is that it shines on the metal and you can see it. Right, so that's where the center light is going to be. We've got plenty of room there. So now I just need to measure this way and that way and make sure I've got enough. Well, I don't hit a joist, basically. I appreciate that I'm repeating myself a lot. I'm sorry. Perfect. 700mm that way, nothing in the way. And that way, nothing in the way. No wires, no joist, nothing. Now we need to drill the holes, and I've got this funky little thing. Basically catches all the dust. It's like a condom for my drill. Oh, it's probably one of the weirder things that I've ever said, but hey ho. Right, so I've never used one of these before, and yeah, again, it's really hard to get a good camera angle in this room, especially when you're trying to film the ceiling. So we're gonna pop that there, or at least we're gonna try to. I can't really see the pilot hole there. Just like that. We've got a circular hole with no dust. Impressed. Right, my holes are all there. Time to make sure that these actually fit in them. Because the depth of some of the holes is more than others. Because this hole, not that deep as you can see there. Light will fit into that very easily. This one, however, much deeper. But there is one way to find out. That goes up there. You bend these bits back, like so. There you go, up with it. Job's good. Right, let's get these ones in. Now that that's done, we need to go back into the loft and wire it all. Now, I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show it just because, one, it's really awkward to film up there anyway, and I'll have to mask up and you won't hear me anyway. And two, because I don't really like to teach how to do electrics, but it's very similar to a light fitting. Right now, the wire, live wire, goes down to this light bulb here. And in a sense, that is now going to go to this light, then it will daisy chain to the next one, and then to the next one, making sure that all terminals are connected. So when I flick the light, instead of that bulb currently being lit, all three of the spotlights will go on. But whenever doing any electrics, always turn it off at the fuse box. I hate being in the loft, man, wearing a mask and everything. Right, time for the moment of truth. But flick this switch, the lights should come on. Oh, what a relief that is. Oh, it's quite nice. It does give a bit of a reflection. It's actually not like super bright, but it does give a reflection on the chrome there, on the shower head, which is, it is what it is. Makes me think I should have added more lights. I don't know, maybe I should have moved the light above the shower head, but the extractor fan's going above the shower head, so I don't know. All in all, it's actually not as bright as it was before. It's, well, it isn't, it isn't. I've gone for like, it's not like a bright white light where the other one is like quite a clinical light, which has been good to work in. This one isn't. I do feel at this present moment in time like it's not bright enough, which makes me think I need to add some more lights, which, to be fair, when this is all lit up and the mirror is widened as well, there will be a lot of light in here, and it will all be connected to the same thing. So you'll come in, flick the light switch, and it'll all turn on. At least that's the plan at the moment. I might make a second switch for like the other LED stuff, or maybe the mirror's got built-in light, I don't know. In my head, it was like, it just all lights up, but it is actually quite a sparse feel in here, to be fair. Once I finish painting the room, or when I paint the room, the Egyptian cotton that I've gone for, and I've got like oak wooden shelving and stuff like that, I think it will actually be like a really nice cozy bathroom, which is not really what it was intended to be. It is more of a, I could just come in here and get washed, but I don't know, it's quite nice. Just need to fill that hole in, and then we are ready to paint it. But as you can tell by like this top-down lighting, it's not flattering. I think if I stand here, the lighting is much better, which is why I was like saying, when I'm stood here in the mirror, the light's on the back of my head, but obviously I'll have lighting projected right at my face as well. So I think it will be fine, to be honest. Like I said, I don't want to overthink it. Lighting is something I can always come back and I can change later on. But for the time being, I have IP bathroom fire rated LED lights in the ceiling. First time actually installing spotlights, to be fair. It's so easy. So easy. It's all properly done and nicely safe away, so I can have a shower in here in good conscience, knowing that I'm not gonna, nothing's gonna cause a hazard, I guess is the right term. There are zones, like wet area zones and different zones where lighting has to be a certain rating and stuff like that. So I've just gone for the highest rating for all of the lights, and it should do the job basically. But yeah, as I say, anyways, later on down the line, I can always come back in here and change the lighting. But for the time being, job's done. We have successfully fitted the loft hatch today and rewired the lighting in here, as well as buying all of the things we need to prime the walls, ready for painting them the final colour. And once that is done, it's just essentially final touches. I say that, there's obviously, we've still got to buy the radiator. Now that I have the funds, I can actually finish the whole room, but it's going to take time because I'm just one man. So yeah, things are going to take time. But once we've got it painted, I probably will fit the radiator first just to get some heat in here. I need to order the screen, or whatever you want to call it, the glazing, frosting, whatever it's called. to basically stop people being able to look in. Get the shelving ordered, fit those in. The LEDs might take a while, and as well as this, I might tomorrow, when I paint this room or prime the room to protect it, I might paint that plasterboard in there, even though my intention is to put a mirror on it. I haven't sourced that yet, and it feels like quite a custom thing because the shelves are all different dimensions. There's no way I'm going to find one that fits exactly. So what I'm thinking is I might actually paint the entire room, anything that is not tiled, paint it all just to seal the plaster, and then paint it again just to give it 2 coats of the final look. And then later on I can come in and I can actually fit the mirrors I got in there after the fact, but at least I know that that is sealed essentially. I did say I was going to make some like plywood shelves for the time being, but to be perfectly honest, now that I've got the funds to do so, I might as well order like the oak shelving that I want, get that ordered, and then it's ready and good to go, and we can fit that in. I thought I saw like grout had come out of the tile or something, but it hasn't. It's different. It's weird seeing this room in like a different light now. It kind of changes the vibe. This shadow is a little bit annoying, so I'm very tempted. What I might do is I might move that spotlight there above, like directly above the shower head. And obviously I can always put the extractor slightly behind it, but at least then the light casts straight down and it's not casting this weird shadow on the wall. It's one of those. It's something that you kind of like learn as you go. I've never done this before, so yeah. Normally I would just get like a bathroom light, stick it in the middle of the room, and it just illuminates the whole room. But lo and behold, I thought I'd try some spotlights for a change. And that's kind of what this place is. A bit of a learning curve, I guess. But on that note, guys, I am going to wrap up today's vlog. It has been a long one. It doesn't probably feel like it in this video, but yeah, going up and down ladders and cutting at holes and doing this like shop to buy everything and just being zipping here, there, and everywhere is exhausting work. So yeah, I feel like no matter which room I go in, the lighting is just not good. I think it is actually best when I'm stood here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, you want to hit subscribe and follow along with a DIY guy who literally uses university YouTube to renovate his house, then make sure you hit subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, a thumbs up goes a long way. It helps this video reach new people. And if you want to go that extra mile, then you can always become either a member and or a patron. You get the videos early, and that's one of the benefits you get for something that at least I can try and give back to you. I'm trying to think of more ideas for that. If there is anything that like, I'd be interested to know on some feedback. If you are someone who's like, I might become a patron, but like early videos isn't enough for me. What more would you like? Because it'd be interesting to know maybe whether that is like, you know, some merchandise, something like me and Jess make or something. I don't really know yet. I haven't figured it out, but some feedback would be great. But anyways, guys, it's been Orion. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time, where these walls will no longer be pink. It will be a completely different color, and hopefully give this room a bit more of a finished look. We'll see. Peace, peace. It felt really weird to end the vlog like that, so peace, peace, much love, bye-bye. But with it going soon, I'm not getting carried away, but these are all things that I need, so. Okay, to get them evenly spaced out, obviously, it felt really weird. Peace, peace, much love, bye-bye.